Each and every gonna wanna don't you
It was
have
the
to go to
best
the
of
bathroom?
times. It was the worst of times.
I don't know what you see. It was bedtime.
What I see is me.
Absolutely.
You want to have your cake and eat it too.
They thought I was you.
Welcome to They Thought It Was You, the podcast where we re-examine Mary-Kate and Ashley's careers through a modern-day feminist lens. I'm Becca Roth. I am a writer-director.
I'm Lanny Harms. I'm a writer-actor.
And today, we are going to do a very exciting interview. I cannot wait to talk to this person.
Yes, much anticipated. We hinted at it last week.
Yes.
You did say that it was your same person with your same last name.
Yes,
right?
she has my last name. She's not my long-lost sister, I don't think.
We're going to figure that out.
We're going to find out.
But I do personally think that our listeners are very smart and very well researched on Mary-Kate and Ashley anthologies. So I think they knew exactly
they
right
knew
away.
Exactly what we're talking. Well, then let's not
to.
waste any time. Here she is.
Rachel Roth. No,
Yay.
I guess I'll say it in the intro.
Yeah, here she comes.
I'm so excited. Here she is. Whee!
Rachel Roth, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to talk to you.
It's such a pleasure.
Oh my
Before we
God.
start, can we just confirm, Becca and Rachel, are you related?
I don't think so. I mean,
Are
maybe. Okay, wait. Let's do a little bit of 23andMe really quickly.
Okay. All right.
So where are you, where'd you grow up?
Okay, so my family is from Ohio. Canton, Ohio,
Okay.
specifically.
Okay.
That's where, my parents grew up. That's where my grandparents, I still have a grandfather that's alive, and he's still there.
Okay.
And then we moved from Ohio. We lived in Florida for a little bit, and then to Los Angeles.
Okay, cool.
So
I'm a New York Roth.
Okay.
Do you have any New York, New Jersey vibes?
I do. I mean, hello. Yes, of course I do. But they're on my mom's side, which is the Sussman side.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we could do a whole podcast talking about
just trying to figure
our
out where you're
ancestors, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe you and David Lee were all connected.
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah. And Philip, he's my
Yeah.
dad. I'm just kidding.
But the reason we're here is not because Rebecca and Rachel have the same last name. It is because, Rachel, you were in Winning London and
yeah.
So Little Time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And we're so thrilled to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love talking about it. Those were great times in my life, and I have fabulous memories and lifelong friendships. I'm still friends with Brandon and Eric.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
So it was just it was a great time, and like I said, I'm happy to talk about it.
Okay. Well,
Amazing.
let's start from where you were before you got involved on these projects. You were an actor, a child actor, teen actor. Where did that all start?
Yeah, you could call it that. I mean, I started acting as a child. I was 6, doing community theater. And I got it in my head very, very, very early that this was what I wanted to do. I remember thinking that you had to be 6 because in The Sound of Music, the youngest was 6. And I was like, when you're 6, you can be on television. I thought it was that's what happened.
That's so amazing.
So I just
oh my
was
God.
very adamant that when I turned 6, that's what I was going to do.
I have to wait. I'm only.
I have to wait till
now.
say I'm a sensible, reasonable person. I know that's the age.
I know the rules, and it's 6.
That's so funny.
And so then my parents were like, we live in Canton, Ohio. You definitely are not going to be on television, but you can be on the stage. And I was just like, yes, let's do that. And so we did that, and then, or I did that, and they, helped because I was a child.
Yeah, they had to be there.
Right.
And they sure did. And then we moved to Florida, and in Florida is where I got an agent for the first time, because at that time, Nickelodeon Studios was there. Disney had their big production, the Mickey Mouse Club. I'm sure the Justin Timberlakes and Ryan Goslings and all of, they
and
were
Britney
all
Spears.
And Britney Spears. Yes. How how dare I?
Yeah, little known.
Oh my God.
And I mean, at the time when we first moved there, Clarissa Explains It All was in production, and that was like
Yes.
Loved
Everything.
that show.
the biggest deal ever. I remember my
Yeah.
first audition at Nickelodeon. We were just like, my sister and I were like, we're gonna see Clarissa. And, it was just like
my
but
God.
it was just like a thing.
Yeah.
And so I got an agent and started, because we were in the Tampa area, which is kind of close-ish to Orlando, and still did community theater. And then
Did you move to Florida from Ohio to do acting?
No. It was a
Oh.
parent thing. But we did end up moving from Florida to California for that reason.
For that. Oh, that's
Got
great.
it. Wow.
That's really nice that your parents did that.
Well, nice or absolutely insane. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Maybe both. But every so often something big would come to Florida, like Flipper, or they did auditions for Interview with a Vampire here. So every so often, like something, or like one of those murder mysteries where the babysitter tries to be the mother, or
Yeah, like a Lifetime.
Yeah.
This is a real one that was Carrie Russell was in. And so
Whoa.
yeah.
Oh
So
my
they would
God.
get these bigger casting directors from different, from Miami or even from LA would come in and audition for these, smaller parts, like Daughter, number 1, and where they would need locals. And it would and so I would audition, and then it started to happen where someone would say, did a parent bring you here? And I'd be like, yeah. And my mom would go in, and they would start, they'd say, this kid, you should go, you should take her to LA. She's got she's very talented. And that put something in me that I was like, oh, LA, what? And then I learned about pilot season, and I was just like, oh my God, we have to do this. We have
How
to
old
go.
were you at that time?
I think the first time I heard about it, I was about 12.
Okay.
And then I just was relentless. Relentless. And so the first time we went for pilot season, I was 14. So it took a couple of years of really convincing and begging. And I think my parents, and being reaffirmed by other, people that were coming in and, going on these auditions and hearing over and over that this is something that you should do. And so we went, and nothing happened. And
First pilot season be like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we went again in the summer, and still nothing happened. And then we went again the following pilot season, and nothing really happened, but I started getting closer. And I just knew. I was just like, if I had more time here, I know that I can make something happen. And my parents weren't in love with Florida, and my dad wasn't in love with his job, and they started meeting other families that were coming out for the same reason. They're still very, very, very close with the Angaranos. Their son Michael is still working. He's still an actor. But, so they started to have their own network of, which they never really had before. They were always these outliers with these weirdo kids who did this weirdo thing.
Yeah.
And, we didn't play sports. We,
You did
were
auditions.
in theater. We did auditions. Yeah. So they were happy. They said, we'll do 6 months. We'll come out here for 6 months, and we'll see what happens. And it just sort of, I got a Disney pilot in that time. That did not get picked up. Oh my gosh. What was it? What was it called? It was about, I want to say it was called Rewind or something like that. I was 15. I
What
played
year
a
was
twin.
that? Oh, you played a twin?
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa!
Your first, that's
Kind of weird. Yeah, that's kind of weird. I played a twin, and it was about these kids who ran their middle school radio station.
That's such a Nickelodeon. That's such a Disney.
It's such a Disney
twins running the radio
Yeah.
station.
So it was we did it, and then this the kid did it. The guy. It was of course about a young boy, because at that time young boys were
Yeah.
and then
it had to be. Yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry.
And then,
Can't have a
Sorry,
TV
we
show
just
led by a
met, and
girl.
I'm making my opinions too strong too fast.
no, it's so true though. It's so true. It's so true. and it just sort of, things just sort of went from there, just doing guest spots on things. I got a Nickelodeon pilot. I actually went back to Orlando.
Oh,
that
funny.
show did get picked up, and I went back to Orlando for like 6-7 months to film that at Nickelodeon Studios. It was one of the last.
Oh, wow.
I think our show and Taina were the last two shows
yeah.
to
I liked
film
that show, actually.
at that place. Yeah, we filmed, and then and now they don't do. I don't think they do anything there anymore.
No,
I
it's,
mean,
I think
that
it's
place
closed
was-
over there.
That
Yeah.
was so like ingrained in me as like this
Just like the
magical,
most magical place.
You
Even
could
more
go.
than Disney World, because it's
Yeah.
like
It
exactly
had the
like that's where
slime.
Clarissa is. That's where everyone's getting slimed. It's
Yes.
like
Yes!
I feel
Oh my
like
gosh.
Disney
That
World is
game
like
show.
yeah, all the slime game shows. I feel like
Yeah.
there are lots of slime game shows, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
all of like I feel like Disney World was magical, but Nickelodeon was like kind of cooler.
Like,
it was
you
like
could
for
make it there.
Like we know you kids. Like we get
Yes.
you. Like I really
Yes.
felt like that. I also famously didn't have cable growing up,
Yeah, you
so like
didn't.
it was still this. It was even more this like really like aspirational cool kid thing. But that's really cool. Was it like filmed in front of a live audience and everything? And
It wasn't filmed in front of a live audience, but we did. So Nickelodeon, so it was part of the Universal like experience. So
Okay.
our hair and makeup was part of the tour. So there was like glass. Yeah.
cool.
Right?
I went on a
Oh
tour.
my
of the
god!
Nickelodeon
What if you
universe.
saw
I might have.
her? When did you go?
It would have been in like 97.
So no, this was 2000 because I turned
Okay.
18 like the second
Okay.
week of production, and they were like, my parents had to leave, and I was like, I'm a baby.
Oh my god!
You're a baby though.
Yeah. Well, what was it like having people watch you do that? Like, was it? Yeah. What was that like?
I obviously loved it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably
I
so
never shied from
cool.
attention.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
cool because I'd spent 5 years in Tampa area, going to Universal, seeing this, going on this tour, and just like thinking I want to be on the other side of this glass.
Yeah.
So it was like
That's
this
so
sort
cool.
of full circle moment. And we did, you talk about the slime shows, we did Double Dare. We played against the cast of Taina.
Oh my god.
That's so cool.
we did Slime Time Live a couple of times.
Wow.
And
And
was
which show was this again that you were on?
So it was called Noah Knows Best, also
Okay.
about a boy and his sister. And it is like famously one of the only Nickelodeon shows not to get picked up for a second season.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
Because we all thought, we're like, oh, we'll be doing this forever.
Yeah.
No. But the creators of this show, so it was about a kid, Noah Besnick, and his sister Megan, and it was sort of about the creator's life. And he, Ken Littman, was the creator of The Secret World of Alex Mack.
Oh my
So
god. Love
yeah,
that
right,
show.
another like totally
Iconic.
formative,
About a girl.
About
yeah,
a girl.
about a girl, right?
For once.
So this was about his life. Like this was about him and his sister growing up
Got
in
it.
New York City. And we famously, like, also not so famously, like, so at the same time, we were making our show, they were making Even Stevens over at Disney, also about a brother sister.
This is what I wanted to know. I was like, did you get picked up for a pilot right around Even Stevens time? Because that's where my awareness of Disney Channel begins.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was it. And
That's a
so
tough
and
one to
Eric
compete
Yeah.
from Winning London was on Even Stevens.
Wait, he
Oh,
was?
was
Yeah, he was one of the bullies.
You're kidding.
Oh my god, I have to go back and rewatch it.
How did I miss this? I loved that show and I loved Winning London.
And also this world is very insular, especially like this type of group. Craig, the guy who directed Winning London, also directed a ton of Even Stevens. He might have directed the pilot because he like talked a lot about, not a lot, he didn't talk a lot, but he talked about how proud he was to have found Shia LaBeouf.
I mean, yeah, that's a find for sure. That's so crazy. I mean, yeah, that is. So did you kind of like see, because you were a kid actor with like, and there aren't that many kid actors, I feel like, doing the same kind of stuff. Like, did you like see a lot of the same kids in a lot of different projects and like aside from the Winning London kids, but like Yeah, like
Yes.
what was that like?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. We saw each other all the time on auditions. You know, there were always like, I saw, and it's so funny because like now, you know, my life is so different, but, and I saw Amber Tamblyn at auditions just constantly,
Oh,
you know, like
wow.
we were like the same, like brunette girl,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
are the same.
Did you like audition for Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants?
Not audition for Sisterhood of the
don't
Traveling
know.
Pants. No. I think those girls are pretty much like decided.
Offer. Yeah. That's
Oh,
fair,
those are
fair.
direct offers, probably.
Those were, yeah.
Although I heard
Yeah.
Blake Lively was like discovered in the audition of that, but whatever. That's
She
not-
might have been. We
Yeah.
were Blake Lively and I were not up for the same parts. We did not audition for the same role.
What about Christy Carlson Romano? Were you up to the
Oh,
same
yeah.
parts as her?
You know, not because she was on Even Stevens, so I never
Right.
saw her
Oh,
on
right.
it. And then things sort of like switched a little bit because I moved. I got Titus, which was a Fox show, and that was
Oh.
a bit of a different like thing, I guess
Yeah.
you could say. Like it was just different from the Disney Nickelodeon.
Right.
Then
of
you're
it
out
all.
of kids show world.
Right.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Did you
Yeah.
like that? Like, how was that experience different for you to be on like a grown up show versus like a kid show?
I mean, Titus was awesome because it was filmed in front of a live audience. And Christopher was very specific in how he wanted it done. And he didn't want the audience to get bored. So so typically, I don't know if you know about live audience shows, but they can last hours, like
I think
forever.
I have heard that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he did not want that. He didn't want fake laughter. He wanted reactions to be genuine. So we would do one pass all the way through, no stopping, get notes from the network, and then do it again another time through, no stopping. Kind of like a play. So it was sort of like doing
Wow.
theater, but on television. And it was so awesome. I mean, it was so awesome. We all were like very disciplined. Everyone was just like the crew, the actors. You didn't want to mess it up because we were really trying to. We had that like theater
Right.
Yeah.
feel. Yeah.
That's
love
so
that.
cool. Yeah, because I feel
was
like so
awesome.
many actors who do like TV and film, it's like not even remotely the same. It's like you do the one face like 8 times and like, yeah. And I feel like that's so cool. Is that ever how it's done with live audiences?
I have never seen it done like that before, Titus, and I don't think. I guess I don't know that. I don't think I did a sitcom after Titus, but I don't believe so. And I don't even know that there are still like true multi-camera sitcoms anymore that are filmed
I've been
live.
talking about this for months now. I am like on a kick because I am watching Seinfeld and Friends right now, and also we watched Two of a Kind, and this is
In, like, a
really
week.
what
All of it.
everything
also
comes back
live.
to Mary Kate Ashley.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I am like on such a kick of like, okay, people just aren't taking this art form seriously anymore, and it is
Yeah.
not dead. It does not have to die.
It really is.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes. For theater
it's such
kids
a
like
real
us, yes.
art. It's such a real art, though. I feel like people like think of it as like lower brow or something, but it's such a
100%.
When we were watching Two of a Kind, we were like, this is a perfectly executed sitcom. It is like at being a sitcom, it is perfect. And I feel like so many people think it's like easier or like less skill or whatever. I think it's hard
Absolutely
to do well. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think being funny is a really, really difficult, and it's really hard to fake it. It's really hard to fake being funny. I've done things, and I've also been in audiences of things, you know, like, because I do have friends that have, you know, friends that were working and that no longer are, friends that are still working. And, you know, when someone I knew would get a pilot, that was a huge deal. And so we would stack, and when it's not funny, it's really not funny.
Yeah,
and
no.
it's not
Yeah.
comfortable at all. It's like
Yeah.
watching a comic bomb for 4 hours, the same
Yeah.
comedian, and you're just like, oh god, this
That
is
is
rough.
really-
Really uncomfortable. So you were on Nickelodeon, went back to LA to do Titus. This sounds like we're getting close to when the audition for Winning London must have happened. Yeah.
It is, because I guess so. Titus, I think, gosh, so I think Titus. All this sort of happened around the same time. Titus getting like I had a small role on Titus that turned into a bigger role that turned into being on the show.
Amazing.
And then it was always in the plan, but when you audition for something, you're like, this is going to be a series regular someday. And I was like, sure it is.
Yeah.
I've heard that before 100 times.
Yeah.
That's a good attitude, though.
Yeah.
You don't get your hopes too high if it doesn't happen.
No, I was like, this 2-line part you're telling me is something, but anyway. And so that show, I was working on another Fox show called The Opposite Sex. Not The Opposite of Sex with Christina Ricci. That was another thing. But The Opposite Sex. No one does.
They weren't happening at the same time, were they?
Opposite of Sex.
Yeah.
It came out before. So this was about and this I loved this too. This was just a great time. And because I never really went to high school. So like this, all of these things were like high school for me.
Oh,
so that was also another short-lived show. I'm very good at that. And it was about 3 boys who were the first in a first co-ed class of a historically all-girls school. And the 3 boys were Milo Ventimiglia, Chris Evans, and Kyle Howard.
Oh my God.
What? Wait. Was this their first show? Was this all their first shows? Tell us everything.
Not Kyle. Kyle had been working forever, but Chris, yes, he came right from Boston.
Wow.
Milo, I also think yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
When you worked with them, did you feel like they were just normal guys like any other people you'd worked with, or were you like,
we were all like,
guys are gonna
no. I mean, we were children,
I don't know.
The oldest. We were kids, so it wasn't like, did I know that Chris was gonna be the biggest action movie star? No.
What was that cackle about? What do you remember about him?
It's just funny, think about someone you kind of, I mean, we didn't grow up together in the sense that we knew each other our whole lives and grew up together, but these were very formative years, when we, like I said, were children.
Yeah.
And so it's just so freaking crazy to think about.
That is really, really weird. Very surreal. Are you like in touch with it? Like, do you have any, I don't know.
No, I mean, no, we're not still like, but I think, if we saw each other, we were all very good friends for a very long time.
Yeah.
And, life just happens and.
Yeah.
And
That's
Milo,
so cool.
too, from
Gilmore
Girls.
Milo, he did Gilmore Girls right after Opposite Sex did not get picked up. He did Gilmore Girls and then Heroes, I think.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. He was on that.
But they're fabulous, and I just I loved them. And
you went right from No One Knows Best to Titus to Opposite Sex. This is all happening at the same time.
It was just like all happening, and then
that's incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I actually think it was like Opposite Sex first, then Noah, because I remember they threw me a big party when I was leaving for Orlando.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh,
yeah.
Cool. And so then Winning London.
And then Winning London came after that. So Winning London came after I was not the first choice. They offered it to some other girl. Yeah. I was trying to remember her name and I can't now, but she was younger and needed a teacher. And I guess,
yeah.
And, she passed on it, and I found out like 48 hours before I had to leave. And thankfully I had a passport. Yeah.
Wow. Wait, so what was the whole process for you of like the audition, like all of it?
They're like, can I say shitty?
Of course.
Yes, we say all the words.
Okay,
very cool. We're
adults now. We don't have to.
And as are most of Mary Kate and Ashley fans, we're all adults. But so it's like the lower stakes the project, the more they make you audition. It's like insane.
Yeah.
There were so many auditions for Winning London. And I
Really?
was just like, yes. And I remember seeing Eric at like most of them and just sort of being like, I guess here we are again.
Yeah. Oh my God. Was he cast yet, or were they all casting everyone all like
All at
basically
once,
together? Yeah. What were all the different auditions? Did you have to do like chemistry reads with him, or like just see a bunch of different
I was
producers?
never reading
like,
with any. Yeah, I was never reading with anybody else. It's not like.
yeah,
That would
No.
be so frustrating.
yeah, that is really frustrating.
What more do you need to
Do they
see?
need to
Yeah.
see from me?
Yeah.
How many more ways to do this? But okay.
Were Mary Kate and Ashley ever there for your auditions, or?
No. Mm-mm.
Wow.
And you know what? I must have known that it was their thing. I must have known at the time, but for some reason I think it didn't really sink in until we were on our way. And so Eric, Brandon, and Steve, the guy who played the coach, we all flew together from LA to London. And I remember we're sitting in like the Virgin, area, I guess, is we're
Lounge.
waiting for our plane. Lounge, that's the word. And we're sitting in the lounge and we're like kind of making jokes because I guess so at that time I was probably like 18, 19.
Oh.
So and Eric and Brandon,
Oh, wow.
we were the same age, and yeah, right. So that's
they were
a
like
very
14, right?
Yeah, they were.
yes.
Wow.
Maybe even 13 because
They were 14. No, they were 14.
they were 14. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was very much known to us that they were 14.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but we were making these jokes like, what are they going to be like? Are they going to be sitting in like Video Village with their headphones on,
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
us, and then be like, okay, try that again, Rachel, but this time less terrible. You know, we were just like making like, what was it like? We have like teenage bosses, essentially, and that's kind of what it was like, except for minus they were in every scene, so they were never like sitting.
Right.
But during so little time, I mean, they were in on my wardrobe fittings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so much to ask you.
Which is
Okay, so first of all, like, what was your relationship to Mary Kate and Ashley growing up? Like, were you a fan of theirs? What was your,
Yeah, so like as a young actor, Full House was just everything because it's like 3 kids.
Yeah.
And it was just again like sort of a shining example of, or like like this is where I want to be. You know,
And they weren't even 6 yet.
Yeah, they legally.
Yeah.
How did they let them act?
I'm seeing some holes in your philosophy of life here.
I realized I was like 8. I think I was like 7 or 8 when that show started.
Okay, you were already acting, and you were like,
Yeah.
oh, they broke the rules.
Yeah.
I think so. One year when I was 16, I was 16. I hadn't really. It was pilot season, and then there was a pilot, and Jodie Sweetin was auditioning, and I was just like,
yeah,
Yeah. If you were older than
Amazing.
them, does that mean that you more identified with like a DJ or a Stephanie more so than Michelle?
more Stephanie because we were the same age.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't identify
wow.
with Michelle, but
Yeah.
I also thought she was the cutest, most adorable. I think she stole the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. That's why they are who they are.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you loved Full House. You were like
Loved.
a fan of Mary Kate and Ashley. Like, did you watch their video? I think you're a little like a year or two younger than they are, and that's like the cutoff. I think for their fandom. Like, I think being older than them, I don't think people were really into it.
I think I saw they must have had some movie where Steve Guttenberg played their father because I have
It Takes Two.
It Takes
Yeah,
Two.
okay,
Yeah. That was their movie that was in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like
Yeah.
that one.
That's a good one. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you liked them and everything, and so you had this idea of like what it might be like to be in their movie, and what was it actually like? Like, what was it like working with them and their involvement and everything? Give us everything you got.
So, I've definitely come across a lot of really, again, I'm going to say shitty people in, that's just it. There's like a sense of entitlement that comes along with being a successful actor that some people just have. And so I had that expectation. I was like, these are kids whose like feet have probably never touched the ground. You know, they've been acting their whole lives, and it was the complete opposite of that.
Wow.
They were so like shockingly regular.
Yeah. Wow.
They just, I mean, really, truly, shockingly regular. It was definitely made very clear that they were kids, and you know, I wasn't a part of this, but there was like a sit down with the male cast members to just sort of back off.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
who sat them
they're
down? What? Like, we're just like,
one
don't
of the producers.
get too.
Yeah. So I wasn't part of that, but I just sort of felt like I heard about it, obviously. And I thought, I was like, well, that must extend to me too. Cause I'm like 18, 19 and I have like, what business do I have? So we were doing, you know, we were going out, you know, Brandon I'd known forever. Brandon and I had been in acting classes starting when we were like 14.
Oh, fun.
So we had the same manager even.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. So
he's like your
we'd
actor
known
friend.
we'd known each other forever. And so we were doing stuff after work. And one day on set, so they had her name was Jill. And so she was kind of like their babysitter, sort of like caretaker, executive producer, you know, like, so she, but she, because they had, her, you know, their dad was there, but you know, they had other kids. And, so she was the one that was like there full time, and she came to me and said that the girls were feeling a little left out because we were doing stuff. I know. She's like, what? And she had this whole, she was like, you're gonna, you're gonna ask them to go to lunch. And I was like, that's so weird that you're setting this whole thing up. Like, I would have, if I thought that was okay, I would have just done that, you know, but I had no idea because I'm like much older than they are. But then in retrospect, you know, they're getting surrounded by older people, you know, so they're living their lives like not really with anyone their own age. So of course.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. And I told Eric, he's like, I want to go. I want to go. I was like, okay. And so we hung out. We went to lunch. We did the that Ferris wheel, the Millennium Ferris wheel thing.
There is a Ferris wheel in London.
Yeah, like that
Lanny
big
thought the
thing.
boat was the Ferris wheel.
We had a thing when we did our Winning London episode that I thought, it doesn't matter. You went on the Ferris wheel.
People thought no one really knew, and that was the difference between being there and being back in America, was that no one really knew who they were. They thought we were all pop stars.
What?
That is so fun.
Which was super.
Wait, how did they tell you that? Like,
how'd you find that
How
out?
did you know that they thought that?
Because people just asked us. Like, they just came up and were like, are you guys pop stars? And we're like, no. And then they're like, yes, you are.
Oh my God.
Okay,
wait, like, what was it about you guys? Were people, like, were paparazzi following you? Is that why people thought you guys were, like, being...
I think I remember. I think there's just, like, a quality that those girls have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just sort of a glittery kind of thing.
Yeah.
They
You know, like,
glow?
yeah. And it just, they just don't look like regular people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I couldn't even begin to tell, like, they were just so lovely and so just normal and really wanted to sort of be done with all of this. You know, I'm not surprised that they are not doing anything. They wanted
even
to go
at
to high
that
school.
But even at that time, you could tell that they didn't want to be doing
for
it?
sure.
Oh.
Yeah, they wanted to go to high school. They just wanted to go to high school. They didn't want to make any more movies. They didn't want to do they wanted to go to high school. They never got any of those chances, you know, and they just kept talking about wanting to go to high school. And I think that, like, and again, none of this is stuff that I don't know this to be true for sure. This is just from, like, observations. They made too many people way too much money for that to happen.
Yeah.
So they started to, I think the compromise was probably the sitcom.
So they could stay in one place for a little bit?
and go to high school as much as possible.
Wait, so that actually makes me really sad that like the movies that like when they were doing Winning London, did it seem like they were like really into like making it good and like being involved, or were they sort of checked out and like, we don't want to be doing this,
Kind of
like,
wanted to get this over.
we have to do this? Yeah.
No, it wasn't like that. It's just that because I mean we had so much fun. Like so that's I mean we did have so much freaking fun. But it wasn't that it was that they never had a break, you know, because it wasn't just the movie. It was the fashion line. It was the dolls. It was,
oh my God,
every lunch they were hosting Make-A-Wish or interviewing like with Extra or E or what, like it was just constant.
Yeah.
And so if I were like I would have just been like, totally how they are living their lives makes me really happy, because this has to be, they're like fully in control of it. It has to be exactly what they want. Okay. You know, they just, yeah. I don't think that they've never been anonymous their whole lives. Like if you think about it, it's just, they've always been known. When we got back to America and, you know, we went to dinner a couple times and it was just so fucked up. Like super honestly. Yeah. The way that people reacted to them, the way that grown men acted around them, it was so just gross. And I really just felt badly, you know, because they didn't get the chance to just be anonymous. And now, you know, they do whatever they want. That's awesome.
And now they do. So people were like, to their face, weird to them?
Oh, yes. Super weird. So, like, I mean, it shouldn't be that surprising, right? Because, like, of times men can be super gross to women, but like even these are kids, but like they weren't seen like that, you know. It was, you know, there were the countdowns till they turned 18, you know. That's just like this, so gross.
I know. I feel like especially at that time in like the early 2000s, I feel like that was like the worst of our culture. It was like horrible to women, horrible to girls. Like just this idea that like if someone is a celebrity in the public eye, like they deserve whatever is coming to them.
Whatever,
because,
right?
Like, yeah, it's so fucked up. I would like to believe it's better now, but I think.
Relatively, but like
I think there are a lot
Yeah.
more women in control of content and making things, but you know, so I think that on that side it could be better, but it's just a really bizarre, which is ultimately why I don't do it anymore. Like that fun and that the feeling that I had in like my late teens and early 20s, I realized is not like what it is really and truly. And it was not fun anymore, you know, so I just was like, man, I've been doing this one thing. All of my energy has been focused on this one thing since I was 6, you know, not to the same success as Mary-Kate and Ashley, obviously. Right. But I need to do something else with this life.
Did seeing Mary-Kate and Ashley and how the world treated them, like, influence that worldview that you started having?
Oh, it definitely did. There was just, it definitely started to plant the seed of like, oh, this isn't just this like fun thing I do. Like this is like this is bigger than that. And I don't think even fully consciously either, you know, because I did feel, and for a long time felt very weirdly protective of them, just because they were such like gems, you know. They were like, I can't say that enough. Like I really, really can't. They were, because they shouldn't have been, right? Like if you look on paper, kids that started acting at 6 months old that are multimillionaires shouldn't be like kind and truly generous people. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And they were, and it just felt like I just wanted them to have what they wanted, you know, and I wanted them to like not have, if they didn't want to make these movies anymore, I didn't want them to have to make these movies anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I realized that, like, I mean, we always, like, speculate kind of because we've been, like, examining their career, like, from the very beginning. And like,
going
the more
beat by beat by
beat
beat.
by beat, like, every little tiny little thing. And the more that we realize it, just like you said, like, the more it makes so much sense that they're not doing it anymore and that they're doing what they want now. It's so great. Yeah, I guess I just sort of wondered when that started for them of, like, not wanting to do it anymore. And I guess it was happening then.
It was happening then. Yeah. I mean, and it's not like, again, these things I'm saying, they're not secrets. They fired their man, Robert Thorne, the moment they turned 18, right?
Yeah. Like, did you have any, like, insight into, like, their relationship with him or, like, anything about him? Or you're making a face. Okay. So I don't know what you're allowed to say. We're kind of on this, like, what's
we can cut
the deal with Robert Thorne mission? Oh my god.
Oh god.
Okay. All right, you guys, you might be a little disoriented right now if you're listening and you're not looking at the video. We are ending on a cliffhanger and we are going to split this up into 2 episodes.
I'm so sorry to do this to you. It's just we ended up talking with Rachel for a very nice long while and it was so good and so deep and we just think we have to break it up into 2.
Yeah,
it's for you and for us.
It's for you. Yeah, I was like putting it together and I was just like, oh, this is definitely 2 episodes. So we hope you guys are cool with that. We know it's a little suspenseful. Also,
sorry.
If you're watching on our Patreon, yes, we look completely different. This is like 4 days later. It's called Pickups, Babe. Welcome to Hollywood.
Hey. Mary Kate and Ashley know what pickups are, for sure.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, so we are going to come back next week with our second half of our interview with Rachel. I think we both fucking loved her. We had the best time talking to her, and we're so excited to share the rest of it with you.
Yes, and also we have a little moment right now where we can shout out some reviews and our Patreon subscribers because we got subscribers in the first day that we launched.
Yes, that was so cool. Like we got some subscribers like right away, and that
you guys are amazing.
Yeah,
like people told us like, you're not going to get anyone for a while, just be ready. And I'm like, okay, I get it. But then like immediately like a whole bunch of people like signed up for the row too, not just even the basic
which is like
tier.
A high-end fashion line and a high-end tier.
Exactly.
So thank you so much. You guys are amazing.
Thank you. So since we're talking about it, I'm just going to.
Can I just say really quickly? I just want to explain what is happening with the reviews because it's a little bit weird and confusing. So
thank you.
In our next episode, our outro was recorded right after we did the actual episode. We recorded the episode and the outro on June 13th, which is Mary Kate and Ashley's birthday.
As you know.
So we did not have any reviews in that episode. We are now recording this on June 16th. We do have reviews. Even though this episode is coming sooner, the outro is later.
Yes. So next week, after you hear the amazing second half of Rachel's interview, you're going to hear an outro where we say, oh, no, we don't have reviews because this is June 13th. And I know it's like, wait, what?
Yeah,
but like this is
confusing.
the magic of podcasting.
This is it, baby. We're letting you in on it. This is
it. We are in the future from when we recorded the interview, but we are in the past from when you are listening to it.
Right.
Which time is crazy. Yeah. Really, it's a circle.
Next week. So currently, this is as far in the future of anything you're going to be hearing in the next week. So like we are past when we did the interview and past when we did next week's outro. So we're not going to do any reviews next week because we already recorded it. But we are going to do reviews this week right now.
Yes. And don't let yourself get confused next week when we say it's June 13th and we don't have any. Okay, we had this conversation.
We already talked about this, you guys. We already talked about this. If you get confused, feel free to send us a message. Don't write us a 3-star review that says great but doesn't understand how time works. Right. Just ask us if you need help. Okay, we're here for you.
Please, we beg you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So since we're here in the mid-future, here are our amazing Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much to April Lorman, Alicia Spears, Derek Dobson, and past. They thought I was you guest, Derek Dobson. Shout out, Derek.
Yes, love you, Derek.
Love you, Derek. Kaylin, Danica Reyes, Kay Franklin, Corey Bridges, and Veronica Lawrence. Thank you
Yay!
so
Thank
much.
you
You
guys
are
so
OG
much.
Patreon subscribers. You can
guys
say
are
you were part of
amazing.
the first Mary Kate and Ashley Fun Club in its new era. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Also, I will say, just because we've never said we'd shout out Patreon subscribers, if for whatever reason you want to do our Patreon and have it be like a secret or like something, tell us you don't want us to say your name, and we will do that.
Yes.
Otherwise, we will shout you out because we're really excited about you, but we respect your privacy, so just tell us if you want to subscribe and not have us shout you out. Just let us know.
100%. And we'll only shout you out when you first subscribe too, by the way. Not on every episode. So just don't worry.
But either
don't worry
way.
about too much acclaim. Like it's
too much
it's gonna be
overexposure.
Yeah. We get it. Okay, and then we also have some 5-star reviews that I am dying to share. Okay, so last week we also missed one from Canada from Jake Turnbull. So thank you so much, Jack. Oh, excuse me. Did I say Canada? This is fully
Yes.
Australia.
You also said Jake, so thank you, Jack. Which one is it, Lanny?
Oh, I'm too excited.
Oh my
I'm too
God.
excited for you to hear
What is
Rachel's
it?
interview. I'm also too excited for these interviews. Okay, it is Jack.
Reviews. She means reviews.
Oh
Jack.
no.
Oh,
I
no.
told
I
you.
did it again. Okay. Jack from Australia says,
my new favorite podcast, a Mary Kate and Ashley fan reborn. Isn't that poetry?
That's gorgeous.
I think so. And then we also have a wonderful, beautiful review from Sam R. from the United States, who says, I love the nostalgia. Made me go back and watch some movies on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Good.
Are they
Thank
on
you, Sam.
YouTube?
I don't know, Sam. Let us know. I know that they're on Simply Olsen, but I don't know about YouTube. Maybe some of them are. I don't know.
Let us know.
Also,
we gotta have that.
Guys, we got so many DMs this week from you guys. I don't know if someone like put out a call to like send us like incredibly heartfelt DMs, but like over and over and over in like the span of like 24 hours, we got like so many really long, really intense in a good way DMs, and I am so grateful. I can't even believe it. And what happened?
What happened?
Who
It feels
told you
like
guys to do that?
It was before we posted our latest episode. Maybe it was when we launched our Patreon and people like knew that. I mean, maybe because we were asking for money and people thought we needed some like
Validation?
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe you guys all just finally caught up and were letting us know. And that does seem like a lot of things. But wonderful DMs. I was like, I am so sorry. By the way, if you have sent us an email, I am really slow at email. I think I'm a little faster at DMs, but even now I am getting slowed down just a little bit because I do want to very much take some time to be present with DMs, especially when they come from the heart from people. So be patient. We will get to you. Thank you so much. And thank you for like the leads you guys are giving us, the pictures from your past. It's all like we are connected.
Yeah, this is really, really, really cool. Very exciting. And we're very honored.
Yes. Wait, there was one from Canada. Brisky Ski. I'm hooked as a huge fan of Full House. Brisky Ski. Thank you.
Thank you, Brisky Ski.
I want to say it over and over again.
Brisky Ski.
Yes. Oh, she wanted to be an Olsen triplet, didn't we all? This is why we have Lizzie Olsen is such a hard thing for us to talk about and think about.
Know.
Anyways.
Anyway,
wow,
thank you guys so
love.
much. So much love. We love you so much. We know we left off somewhere juicy. We're sorry, but we're not that sorry. We have so much more really, really exciting and very informative stuff to like. I feel like this interview with Rachel is one of the like realist, like most, and it feels very like in line with the type of analysis that we've been doing, and so it just feels really cool and we love it. We love talking to her. We hope you guys love to listen to it because it was like really special
and sorry if it's a
conversation.
little bit of a scoop of truth serum truth medicine. If
it is a little scoop, it's probably ice cream. I would say truth ice cream.
Sorry, there's a little bit of bittersweetness in that. I just want to let you know I hear you. It's a lot to hear, but it's also very interesting and I think helpful in processing all of this.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, well, see you guys next week. You can follow us at They Thought I Was You. You can follow Lanny at Lanny Harms.
You can follow Becca at Becca Roth on Instagram. Yes.
And great. Okay, we will see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
I didn't mean that to you. I mean, love you, Lanny. We're gonna record some more stuff, but I just want you to know right now that I love you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. I love you too.
I love you too. Bye.
Bye.
They thought I was you. If it's up to me, you'll